So Bob Iger has released his book, The Ride of a Lifetime, Lessons Learned from 15 Years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. In this book, he talks about the selling of Lucasfilm from George Lucas to Disney and what has transpired between him and George. Basically, Disney, Iger, George Lucas. So let's read a little bit about it. So on revealing to George that they weren't going to follow his plot outlines. Early on, Kathleen Kennedy brought JJ and Michael Arndt, A-R-N-D-P, I'm not sure how to spell his name, up to Northern California to meet with George Lucas at George's ranch and talk about their ideas for the film. George immediately got upset as they began to describe the plot, and it dawned on him that they weren't using one of the stories he submitted during the negotiations. Already sounds a little negative here. Clearly, that Kennedy and Abrams and Arnott desired a different version that utilized the same ideas, but deviated from how Lucas felt the story should go. For instance, according to Pablo Hidalgo, Lucas's episode number 7 would have featured Luke's revitalization from his exile. But that idea was pushed to episode 8, The Last Jedi, in the development process. Not to mention the involvement of the Wills, the midichlorians, in the overarching story, which were seemingly discarded. This is just part 1, by the way. I will have more to this. This is just part 1 of the book. Again, the book is called The Ride of a Lifetime, Lessons Learned from 15 Years of CV as a CEO of the Walt Disney Company. So you could see right away from this alone that George is upset that he gave them what he wanted, and they decided that that's not the route that they were going to go. Of course this would be upset. You know, when you have someone in your company who you trust, such as Kathleen Kennedy, and you're like, okay, you know, I can trust her, and I have a good relations with Disney. After all, he did have Star Tours there way before he sold it, way before. So he had, you know, a good relations with them. He figured that who better to sell it to than a kid-friendly company, which, you know, Star Wars, he said, is a soap opera, you know, that's based on a family that was meant for 12-year-olds. That's how he described it. And this is why he sold it to them, trusted them. And I don't know, when Kathleen Kennedy said to George when he gave them a blueprint, George was like, no, I gave you a treasure trove from comic books, and even the movies themselves. His vision of 7, 8, and 9. So you could see that right away that Bob Iger is saying that George was upset with the direction that we were going in. But this was the direction we were going in. This is what we wanted. Basically, they wanted their Star Wars. They wanted, and this is what they were getting. We're getting their characters, their Star Wars, using some of the old, but discarding it at the same time. And that's what this is all about. That's what has happened here. Now, obviously, you can't keep the old forever, right? It's a war. People are going to die. People are going to age. Father Time always wins out, right? But it was, I think, what the fandom is so upset is the way they handled it. And, you know, I've said this probably 100 times. The most upsetting to me is basically how they handled the character of Luke. I would have, you know, and I guess we all envision of how it was going to go, and that's what upsets us. And some people are like, well, just accept it, and it is what it is. Well, if I have to accept it, and this is what it is, well, I choose not to accept it. And that's my choice. So if I don't like the direction I'm going in, then I have every right to feel that way. And if you do, then that's great. I'm on the fence. There's some things I do like. There's some things I just don't like. And that's just how it is. You know, I don't like the sequel trilogies, whereas I like the standalones. I'm not so into Resistance as I'm into Star Wars Rebels. So I'm right on the border. Do I like everything they're throwing at me? No. But I am looking forward to Disney Plus. Am I looking forward to Episode 9? Not really. I'm not excited. I just want to see, I'm more curious to see how it ends. That's it. I just want to see how it is. I'm already, as someone once told me, you're already invested in it. And I am. Basically, that's how I feel. I'm upset that they didn't go in the direction of George, finish his story and then go in their own direction. I think that would have been, for me, it would have been totally acceptable. But you could let me know how you feel about this and the mess it's caused. We're going to go over part 2 of what happened between Bob Iger, the selling of Lucasfilm from George Lucas to Disney. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. You'll see more of my videos. I'll keep you know about Star Wars. Check out my Twitter account where you'll find things that you probably won't find on this channel for free. It doesn't cost anything. And I'll see you next time. Take care.